In Texas, it was a tale of two young stars. Wemby entered this game against the Mavs questionable with a rib contusion, has to play 20 minutes in one of the final two games to be eligible for season-long awards. He was not just going through the motions here. He was going through the Dallas defense. I'm not asking rhetorically. What do you do when he's doing stuff like this?
I don't have an answer.
My Frenchman. We're watching his minutes. 15 minutes, 16 seconds in the first half. Oh, by the way, 24 points at recess on 9-16 shooting. De'Aaron Fox had a fine day. 18 points, 10 assists. When you just lob it up to number one, life gets a little easier. San Antonio entered locked into the 2 seed, so Wemby's essentially playing for postseason awards. And here, the putback, he checks out of the game, having cleared 20 minutes. Checked back in for 6 more. Goes for 40 points and 10 boards in 26 minutes. Ho-hum. But Cooper Flagman entered the day plus 120 to win Rookie of the Year, an underdog to Con Knippel. He exited it as a minus 175 favorite. Their finishes over Wemby. He had 25 points himself at halftime, 33 for the game. Sidestep J. Future's bright for him in Dallas, but the Spurs get the better of the Mavs on the night. They win by 19. But the two faces on the fight poster lived up to the billing. Cooper Flag's 11th 30-point game, passing Melo for second most ever by a teenager. Only LeBron has more. And Wemby, it's local royalty. This was his 5th game, going 40 and 10 this season. That ties David Robinson for most in a season by a Spur. And we've got a big fella from Texas to talk about these two. Kendrick Perkins. Wemby won Rookie of the Year unanimously. Cooper Flag became the new favorite to win it this year today. These are franchise centerpieces. They combined for 49 in the first half of this game. What does it mean to the NBA if these two become the faces of the league?
Well, I mean, it means everything, and they are going to be the faces of the NBA. They both are the true definition of generational talent. And when we're talking about Cooper Flag, for a minute, Con Knippel was running away with it, and all of a sudden, Cooper Flag came back off an injury, and he has been putting on the clinic. The growth of this year, playing without Anthony Davis, playing without Kyrie Irving, J. Kidd trusting him as the point forward, and he's getting it done. Scoring, rebounding, making people around him better. Moving on to Wemby, when you talk about something that we've never seen before, this guy's ready for the moment. He has an old soul. By the way, shout out to Wemby for winning Defensive Player of the Year this year because he's going to win that. Shout out to Victor Wembanyama for first team All-NBA because he will get my vote. When you see the balance of his offensive game now, a big man with guard skills, it's a reason that I have the San Antonio Spurs pick to win the championship, and it's because you can't put a game plan together to stop Victor Wembanyama.
And the scary thing is, Big Perk, they're getting better. They're 24-3 since the All-Star break, hitting their stride, locked into the 2 seed in the West. Kendrick Perkins, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us here on SportsCenter.
Appreciate you.
Over in the Eastern Conference, Toronto guaranteed a playoff bid with a win or a host of losses from Orlando, Philly, and Charlotte. They visited the Knicks for their penultimate game of the regular season. And so much of the postseason discussion is surrounding whether or not Karl Anthony Towns was going to be one of them ones. Well, as we near the end of the regular season, he absolutely was. 14, 8, and 4 in the first half, doing a little bit of everything, helping the Knicks get out to a 15-point lead at the break. As we move to the third quarter, it's still Cat working. In transition, the big fella throwing it down, getting rewarded for the hustle. Cat finishes with 22, 10, and 5. Knicks up 14 with that bucket. Jalen Brunson, still very much a part of this equation, gets the bank shot to go to put him back up 16, and more Brunson here, working in the mid-range. Folks, those are free. 29 game high for big body Brunson, as the aforementioned Kendrick Perkins calls him. We move to the fourth. Jordan Clarkson, off the quick inbound from Jose Alvarado, giving him the eyes, saying, hey, let's go up top. Let's go up top. The telepathic communication on point for the Knicks as they roll. They will be your 3 seed in the East.
Cavs and Hawks just played Tuesday. ESPN Analytics says it's better than a 50-50 shot. This is a first-round matchup. So this is game 2 of a best-of-9. Atlanta can clinch being above the play-in with the win, and C.J. McCollum was not messing around. Late first half, Hawks up 4. He is doing all he can to lower Trev's blood pressure. I believe we call this a barrage à trois. I'll ask Wemby if we ever have him on the show. CJ just heat checking 4 for 4 from 3 in the last 3:09 of the first half. Flames from basically straight away. He had 25 at recess, 29 for the game. Hawks up 13. 3 minutes left in the third. Hawks up 31.
Let's go.
Dyson Daniels, Aussie.
Oi.
Second career triple-double, 13, 10, and 12. And final seconds of the period. Mohamed Gay with the putback jam off the Jonathan Kuminga miss. Hawks, if they beat Miami Sunday, this is your 4-5.
Moving right along. Phil and Joe back with you on SportsCenter. The Spurs win again. 14 of their last 15 have resulted in a W. Wemby, speaking of W, had 40 in 26 minutes of action. Point guard De'Aaron Fox added a double-double. Spurs locked into that 2 seed in the West.
And we're now joined by All-Star point guard De'Aaron Fox. Since the All-Star break, you and the Spurs, 24-3, locked into the 2 seed. De'Aaron, you've had a heck of a career, from McDonald's All-American, All-Star games plural. But I got to ask about that dude, number one. I've been watching basketball longer than you've been alive. I haven't seen anything like that dude. What is it like aiming at the same basket as Victor Wembanyama?
It's crazy, man. Just day in and day out, like you see the way that he works. And obviously, his height's the big thing. But the way that he works and the way that he loves the game is bar none. Like, I haven't been around many people that have that type of work ethic. And regardless of who we're playing against, he comes out there like we're playing in the game. So I think that's probably one thing that you really admire about him if you're around him.
And look, for you, as the wily vet on this squad, to still find a way to pick your spots despite there being an absolute attention vacuum on the floor with you, how do you go about sort of remaining engaged and knowing when to press down that accelerator and when to kind of let off and let the man work?
Yeah, I think every game is definitely different. Obviously, our job, we all think that Vic's going to be one of the best players to ever play this game. So our job right now is to help him, try to make it as easy as possible for him, try to win championships with him. So for me, it's every game's different. Sometimes I do press a little more. Sometimes I, let off of it because not just with him, but we have, I think, eight guys that average double figures. We have a lot of guys that can really put the ball in the basket. So for me, I don't have to force anything, and we try to make sure that he doesn't have to either.
And among those guys averaging 10 plus per game, you're 28. You're in your athletic prime, but as Trev said, this is a young squad. Your 600 regular season games played are far more than any of them. Still just 7 playoff games. As a team that could play, into June, what will your role be from a leadership standpoint as you guys navigate each round of the playoffs?
I think it's the same as what we've been doing for the rest of this, or for most of this year. Try to lead by example, lead my voice. But at the end of the day, we have so much talent. So, people talk about the inexperience in the playoffs, and sure, that could play a part in it. But I think the way that we play, both offensively and defensively, I think cover up for that. Because if we have those offensive spells, I think we've been good enough defensively this year that we can weather those types of storms. And I think that's when young teams pretty much get in trouble in the playoffs, when they can't score the ball. And we don't have that many times that we go through it, but when we do, we have a good enough defense, I think, that we can withstand those.
How freeing is it, not only the talent that you have in that locker room, but also just knowing that a lack of experience also brings a level of ignorance that allows you to sort of play free if you ain't never been there before. So how then do you utilize that to your advantage going into this playoff run?
We have dogs. We got dogs that don't care. they don't care. So, you can talk about the inexperience, but with Dylan, obviously, I don't think KJ's played in the playoffs yet. Steph, Vic, we have people who don't care what's being said on the outside, don't care if you're talking about the experience. You got to go out there and you got to beat us. You got to beat us again. You got to end up beating us. We can talk about that experience, but at the end of the day, we got guys in that locker room that are like, we don't care what y'all talking about. Y'all got to come out here and beat us 4 times.
Well, doing it in the regular season, doing it in the playoffs, it's an entirely different thing. Again, you guys could not be hotter entering the playoffs, 24 of your last 27. As we watch you, say in the first round, how will we know that you're in that flow state as a team in now games that really count, that you can take this great resume, all these regular season wins, and actually get to an NBA championship and perhaps win it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, we talked about as a team, just continue to do what we're doing, continue to enjoy playing, because we know that these games mean more. We know that there's more at stake, so we don't want to just go into these games being tight because you haven't been there before. So I don't know what that looks like. I think if I had to guess, it would be what we're doing right now. We get stops, we get out in transition, we play fast. we try to find easy baskets, and we've been one of the better half-court offensive teams in the league as well. So continue to play the way that we play, and don't let being in the playoffs and playing for higher stakes change the way that we're playing.
Brother, you could go in that locker room right now and just coach him up.
Right? He's ready to run.
One more regular season till left. Best of luck in that and beyond to you and the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox, appreciate you kicking it with us here on SportsCenter.
You guys appreciate it.